And joining us is Vice-chancellor Professor Habib. Thanks so much for your time. Your poll seems to show overwhelmingly that students want classes to resume, and you've also deferred the final decision to reopen on Sunday. What are the considerations that you will take into account in light of the poll results?
Students want, clearly an overwhelming majority of them want to start the academic program. We needed to know what the staff want. Clearly the vast majority of them want to begin the academic program, and that's an important variable. But what's an even more important variable is to ensure that we can open with and create the conditions for safety and security. We have to be certain that we've tried everything in ensuring the safety and security of every member of the university community. And thirdly, we have to try and see if we can get a negotiated outcome. I would love to see a situation where the protesters and the university management come together. They look at saying, look, we have certain compatible interests, certain interests that, if you like, overlap with each other. But we agree that we will open up the academic program. There won't be violence, there won't be arson, there won't be disruption of the academic program. And in exchange, we can begin looking and working towards resolving the biggest structural issues that are at the system level. That's my preferred option.
Now, earlier this week, you indicated that you would make the announcement on the fee increases. When would that decision be made?
The announcement of the fee increase has to be determined by Council itself. Council is meeting now, but we are also waiting for our chair of Council, who is not able to be at this Council meeting and will be here on Monday. We'll be having two sets of a Council meeting that goes over 2 days, today and on Monday. And hopefully by the end of Monday, we would have made a decision in this regard about how we're going to proceed forward. You do know we have a recommendation from the state, which suggests 8%. What it suggests is that we need to start looking towards, and they would pay the fee increase for all of those with a family income less than 600,000. There's been some movement by the state in that regard. Our big challenge now is to take that recommendation and consider what the possibilities are. I do want to make clear that the university is not in a strong financial state, that actually our cost structures have gone up by about 12%, that we've effectively had to pay about 120 million for insourcing costs, and our room for maneuver is very, very limited. And so in effect, we have to work within the constraints of ensuring the financial sustainability of the institution itself.
Now, Wits reiterated it remains committed to quality education, but last year's zero fee increases and this year's suggestion by Minister of Higher Education of a cap of 8% must be affecting the university's finances. And in addition, outsourced workers needed to be re-employed or insourced. What is being sacrificed at the university to fund the shortfalls?
I must say that at the moment, nothing of an academic nature is being sacrificed. We are going through a difficult period. So we are making 150 million rand worth of cuts. And those cuts are in programs that we think will not severely impact on the academy. Some impact will be there, but we don't believe they would be of a quality that would impact on the character of our academic program or would undermine the world-class character of our graduates. So that's something that we've done. But any more cuts, any more severe dents into our finances will begin to impact on the academic program. And that's what we got to watch out for.
UCT's Vice-chancellor said it's important that varsities return to normal by Mondays. Does the same apply to Wits, and do you have a contingency plan to ensure that the year's delays can be resolved within the university calendar?
So I've heard what Max Price said, and I understand the burdens on that he's confronting. We do know at Wits that we can save the academic program if the protests don't continue for too much longer. In a sense, in the next few days, we would have to start opening the academic calendar, because should we lose another 5, 6, 7 days, then our academic program is going to be under severe threat. And that is something that we don't want to do.
Now, earlier this week, you told ANN7 that being a vice-chancellor is a miserable job, but this fee protest is something that needs resolution. What do you believe university management should do to resolve it, and what is the involvement of students and government?
the achievement of free education, whether for the poor, the middle classes, or for everyone, is something that only government can decide on. University managers do not, university executives do not have the capacity to resolve this question. What we have to understand that this is a system crisis, and it can only be resolved in a system way. I also think that if you ask me, I think you're going to have to find some period of time. You're never going to be able to do this in a single act. It would have to be done over a period of years, over a period of time. Otherwise, it could have unintended consequences. So I do think that the ability of university executives to deliver on free education is limited. That has to be a system-wide decision of government itself.
Now, you say that only a small contingent or number of students are involved in the protests, or rather opposing the opening of the university, and this will also require massive security deployment. Have you discussed this matter with the security cluster and the police?
Well, I haven't had a conversation with the security cluster. I have discussed it through my colleagues with the police service. We have said to the police that your obligation is to protect public property, which university is a public property, and you need to meet your obligations in this regard. I would like to open our academic program without a heavy police presence. That's something that I think every member of the university community would have to, but we have to also consider that we can't continue for too long. We've got more than 75% of people saying that they want to open. 75% of students, the vast majority of students, the vast majority of black students are saying we want to be open. We are desperate to open. Please don't sacrifice our academic lives. It's not fair on a small number of people to say we will decide on behalf of everybody else. That kind of vanguardism, I think, is really, really problematic. Black children, all children, need to make these decisions on their own, and their leaders need to be responsive to their interests, and they need to consider these issues.
Now, students are saying they want to have an audience with you alone, but this has not happened. Why is this a problem?
We've written to the SRC and we've written to the student leaders, and I've said publicly that I'm happy to meet with you, provided you elect your leaders, and I will bring my executive management and we will sit with you. What we're not doing is negotiating with 2,000 people in a room, because that's not negotiations. And what I'm not doing is engaging in what I call the spectacle of humiliation, where you invite somebody, you actually don't let them speak, you humiliate them, you do all of those things and think that that's engagement. That's not engagement. That's engaging in the politics of humiliation or a spectacle. That's not going to happen. What is going to happen is an engagement. If you want to choose your leaders, the executive management will come, will sit down, will engage and find resolutions to the issues. But what is not happening is the spectacle of humiliation that is happening. What is not happening, you think you're going to the Vice-chancellor's home and threatening his family. Those kinds of things are unacceptable politics under any conditions. And it's important that people believe and begin to accept that they live in a democratic society, and any democratic society has rules for everybody. They have rules for vice-chancellors, but they also have rules for protesters themselves.
Professor Habib, students discounted the meaning of your poll, saying the method of cell phone voting is open for abuse. What did you put in place to ensure only one vote per student is counted?
We have a strong system of accreditation. We have an independent company checking out that the processes ensured that only a single vote was counted of every student. And frankly, the big question is, what do you mean, students? 75% of students voted in a positive way. Some students, that's what you're saying, some students question the legitimacy of the poll. Most students accept the legitimacy of the poll. Start talking about the majority. Who is the majority here? That's the thing that people need to start understanding. Start qualifying who you're talking about. So you say students, the vast majority of students actually participated in the poll. They voted in favor of opening. That's the decision. As much as student leaders need to be accountable to that, as much as vice-chancellors need to be accountable to the majority sentiment, what is also important is that the press must start describing things the way they are, not the way they think it should be.